Good afternoon and welcome to WeeRadio, all over New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, upstate, out of state, and all around the world. As promised, live from Guyana, we'll join our tourism minister. Yes, indeed, Honorable Cathy Hughes. And, you know, her background in media specialist with extensive knowledge of Caribbean media, regional, dealing with Guyana and the region in media and advertising environment. A graduate from the University of the West Indies with a Bachelor of Arts, honors Bachelor of Arts degree in mass communication, a original founder and member of AFC, and member of National Assembly Committees, Membership, Foreign Relations Committee, and Committee of Privilege. A husband, as you know, distinguished attorney at law, Mr. Nigel Hughes. We are honored to have Guyana's tourism minister on WeeRadio this afternoon. I'm the SpiceMan, Bob Frederick, and what an honor to have Ms. Hughes on with us this afternoon. Welcome aboard, Ms. Hughes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Bob. It is a wonderful opportunity to be chatting with you.
And you know the feeling is mutual here, and I'm so excited because I'm hearing a lot of excited things for Guyana. And you know, ladies and guys, don't feel no way, but the ladies are really leading the way and doing good things. And no matter how much we as men do things, the ladies, you have a special touch, a finesse, so to speak, in doing things. So
I love that. Well, you know, some people say it's a woman's world, huh?
Yes, and I believe that. And guys, don't beat me up, but definitely, you know, ladies are doing so much and working longer hours and really taking things to another level. As we get ready to embark on a new marketing or major marketing for Guyana, but we know you have infrastructure to deal with. You have maybe crime you have so much to do. Crime, cleaning up the streets, cleaning up the city. Because if you're going to bring in people, visitors, even nationals coming back home, you know, you want to sell them Guyana in such a way. We know it's a lovely place, but we want to restore its real natural beauty and sights and sounds. So without no further ado, what's the first step as you take over? And by the way, let me just congratulate you as
Bob.
tourism minister in your new administration. And we wish you the best in all you do.
Thank you, Bob, and good afternoon to all the listeners in any part of the world that they may be, and of course a special hi to Guyanese in the diaspora. Yeah, you're right. This is an extremely exciting time, and I am very privileged to have been given the opportunity to serve as Minister of Tourism. What's exciting about the tourism sector is that this is the first time that we've actually established a dedicated ministry to look at our tourism product, and therefore we are and just to clarify that, previously, tourism was always part of another industry. So most recently, just up until in the last government, we had a Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce. So we in the tourism sector are very excited that this administration has given direct focus to tourism as an industry that we feel can contribute in a very meaningful and powerful way to the growth and development of Guyana and to our gross national product. As you know, traditionally, our economy has been based on sugar, rice, traditional agricultural crops, and also mining, gold, diamonds, other minerals. And so we see tourism as a new emerging sector, and we see it as an avenue to really provide employment opportunities to local Guyanese, and also to be able to provide superior services to in the area of tourism. So you want me to tell you a bit about what I think makes Guyana's tourism product special, or I'm not sure if you have another question to ask.
Okay, well what I'd like you to do, and I will be coming with all that, but just before we jump the gun, the first thing you have to do in creating that environment for coming back home, how do you deal with the crime situation and some of the negative element in cleaning up, so to speak, Guyana, to prepare Guyana for all that you plan and your media marketing strategy, your media campaign?
Okay, let's start with the cleanup. I'm excited to say, and anybody that has been in Guyana since May 26th would have observed the tremendous cleanup that's already taken place. What's exciting about this is after David Granger, the Honorable David Granger, was sworn in as president, he and some of his close friends literally went to our Independence Arch and started a program of restoring that arch. Within 2 days of doing that, what was absolutely amazing is that people in Guyana, without having to see a public service announcement on television telling them to clean up, I think people in Guyana finally got the message. They finally felt that, if this is a government that is going to start cleaning up, and they started with restoring this historical arch, what happened after that is that we saw communities across the length and breadth of Guyana starting to clean up. So I was very, very excited. We have people that have communities throughout the country that started to clean up and clear up. And this was something that our residents of Guyana and Georgetown started to do independent of any instruction. What's sad is that we've had cleanup campaigns over the years and allocated in the last parliament to clean up Georgetown. And it was exciting to see that on this occasion, people and residents looked within themselves and decided, what? I have to clean up my environment. This is extremely important, I say, not for a potential tourist, but for Guyanese themselves. The way we live, the way the place looks is a reflection of us. And I used to find it very distressing that Guyanese would jump on a plane, go to the U.S. or Canada, and not drop a piece of garbage. But in Guyana itself, really would display what in local dialect we would call I-pass with regards to our environment. And we would be throwing Kentucky boxes out the window. Well, to maintain this, I know that there's an overriding and a large commitment to ensuring that we enforce our anti-litter laws and also that we charge individuals for throwing garbage on the roads and the streets in our trenches. So I think that in summary, we have seen a change in people's attitudes that we applaud. We encourage them to do that. And then we have seen a commitment that we will enforce those laws. So people will be penalized. And that's also companies that dump industrial waste on the sides of the streets. Those are things you can't do in other countries. And so I'm quite excited that we've made some, we're 50% ahead of where we were in April or March or April this year. And already you can see the streets are very clean.
But you know what I wanted to say? I wanted to congratulate you and your entire team or tourism and the whole country in bringing that awareness, because it's so important to bring in tourism dollars and what tourism dollars means to any country, and we'll talk about that later, but to get your nationals aware of keeping the environment clean and playing their role. And it's a good way to even start training even the young ones in school as to tourism, what it means. Now we talk about tourism. I will just delve into another question. In terms of your projection, or maybe you may not be able to give us everything through the years, but the kind of dollars that could be generated from tourism, the tourism industry, what it means.
Well, currently the last official figures, and these are figures from international agencies and also from the government of Guyana, they have put the potential income from tourism in 2013, anyway from a range of $62 million US to $121 million US. And that's where we are currently. It's the government a couple of years ago stated that tourism had expanded and gone to 8.2% of our gross national product. It sounds like a small amount, but it means that just the industry the way it is right now, without the thrust that we want to put in place, without that marketing plan, is already bringing $162 million US into the country. And therefore we are quite optimistic Currently, we have over 200,000 visitors that come to Guyana. And so we feel that our product, our exciting rivers, our beautiful waterfalls, Kaieteur Falls, which is the largest single drop waterfall in the world. We have numerous rivers that are great for water sports, that are great for kayaking, that's great for all kinds of adventure sports, water sports. So we think we have sports fishing. You may know that the largest freshwater fish, the arapaima, is found in Guyana. And of course we have over 800 species of birds, really exotic birds. So the 200,000 people, visitors that come to Guyana are already experiencing some of this product. They're either coming to as bird watchers, they're coming as sports enthusiasts, in terms of sports fishing, and of course they're coming as nature and adventure tourists. They're hiking to Kaieteur, and that's a beautiful 3-day hike that I've done many years ago. There are exciting hikes to Roraima, Mount Roraima, which takes about a 7 to 10-day hike through beautiful landscapes. I mean, we're talking through mountains, we're talking through undulating plains, savanna lands. So we feel confident that we have the product, the natural product, that makes us have the potential to be very vibrant and successful tourism destination.
Well, you're definitely on your way, because ecotourism is rising in our world today. And people love going back to nature. And that's
Absolutely.
A good way to go. And although we in the region, Guyana in the region, and the Caribbean, but the Caribbean, they sell sun, we sell, and sand and everything. So you've given them something, the tourists, something entirely different. And I think with proper marketing around the world, you onto something real great. And you could make a leaps and bounds, and Guyana could be a major destination and a boost in tourism for Guyana. So it seems to me you got it, and you probably have your projection, a year, 2, 3 year projection, a 4-year projection. So you on your way, definitely on your way. Now,
yes. We're confident. We're confident. Now, I know you, and I should say there are a couple of fundamental things that we're doing so that we make sure that this is just not talk. We want to make sure that to provide successful tourism industry, we need to ensure that we can provide quality services. So one of the top things that we're going to be doing within the next 6 months is actually starting construction of the Tourism Hospitality School. And that is a school that is going to be built that is going to partner with the local University of Guyana and also Carnegie School, which has done some amount of training successfully in the area of catering. And so we're going to be partnering with both those institutions and establishing a whole school that will be able to train Guyanese with regards to the standards that must prevail in the tourism industry. So, of course, this is in terms of the accommodation sector, hotels, basic things like, the standards in a hotel, safety, regulations, the kinds in the kitchen, our cuisine, decor of rooms and buildings, anything from housekeeping right through. So we're confident that to establish a successful and quality industry, we need to have a workforce that is adequately trained. So we're putting that in place. You actually asked about crime and security, and I know I didn't actually respond to that second question. And if you don't mind, I'd certainly like to respond to it now.
I would like you to respond to it, yes.
Yes, we recognize that crime and security is a major concern and a big issue to us. Over the last 5 years, our crime rate has grown rapidly. And we feel that part of the challenge has been that insufficient international support, which was offered to the previous administration but which was not accepted, can play an important role in dealing with the crime. So, as you know, we've done some bit of reform. We have Kamarad Ramjatan, who is actually the Minister of... He handles the safety and security aspect. Plus, we have a Ministry of Citizenship that deals with the citizenship issue. But I'm happy to say that within the last 3 weeks, just from reading the newspapers, you will notice that it's the first time that we've actually been able to apprehend some of the bandits that have been robbing individuals and threatening the stability of our country. So we have made a very firm commitment. In the last 3 weeks, we have seen people that have gone through the courts, bandits that have been caught. And, you know, the British had offered to help us many years ago with the Security Sector Reform Program. And Kemaraj and this administration are already working with them. We've also granted permission to establish Office of the DEA, because the reality is, too, that a lot of the crime is drug-related. Unfortunately, Guyana has become a transshipment port, and individuals are using the country to bring drugs through. Luckily, not a large portion of it does not stay in Guyana. We do not have a large drug consumption problem. We have a transshipment problem where people are bringing it through and trying to get it out every which way on planes, on flights. And so we feel confident that we're going to start to address that situation. Since I'm speaking to the diaspora, I want to ask them to help us to partnership with us when it comes to crime. Because unfortunately, we have seen that members of the diaspora coming back to Guyana, we've seen incidences where they have been the victims of robbery. And it has been directly shown that we've had situations where individuals are coming back to Guyana. They're going to be selling property. They're going to be walking with large sums of cash. And that information, it is absolutely clear, in many cases, has not been kept confidentially. And so you have a family coming to sell a property, and clearly people within the environment, within the knowledge area, have known what they're coming to Guyana to do. And therefore we've had some horror stories of them being attacked. And so we say to you, if you're coming to do business in Guyana, that information is confidential information. Keep it within your small circle. Don't let too many people know that you're coming to invest and you're walking with sums of money, because we've had too many situations that indicate that people that are coming to transact business have been maybe a little too free with that information, and regrettably they have been the target of robberies. So we're asking the diaspora to be as you would do in any part of the world. You know, I tell the story of going to New Orleans on vacation, jumping in the taxi on the way to the airport, to the hotel from the airport, and the taxi driver telling me that New Orleans was the number 2 crime capital in the world. Well, we are fortunate that Guyana is not. And I was a little taken back when I heard that, and I thought to myself, wow, why would a taxi driver tell me that? Right. But the good thing about it is that he was saying to me to be careful. And in every part of the world, there are things that you don't want to do. You don't want to go on a quiet street at 4 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. And you wouldn't do that in New York City. And we're saying to you, be careful. Don't think you can do that in Guyana. But otherwise, hundreds and thousands of people come here and have a good experience. So we want to encourage people to do that. I'm happy to say that if you speak with anybody, any of the 400 people that came to Guyana just about a month ago for the St. Rose's reunion, or the 76 people that came for my family reunion, and that was a personal visit, they all had a blast, both groups. So I say it's easy to be safe in Guyana, and we encourage you to come home, and we have made the commitment to focus more on security, to get international help to deal with the issue. And I think we're going to have it over the next few months. We're going to see a decline in the crime, the incidence of crime that we seem to be seeing right now.
Honorable, we thank you so much. Just want to ask you to hold on a little bit for me.
Sure.
When we come back, I want you to give out information, how people, nationals and friends and the world at large could get in contact with you, your department, for coming to visit in Guyana, and then we'll talk also about some special events in Guyana like Mashramani or Pagua, different special events that will bring in an influx of people, nationals and friends coming back home. That's another sector of the tourism department in dealing with boosting tourism in Guyana. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to WeeRadio. I'm the SpiceMan, Bob Frederick, and our very special guest this afternoon, very fortunate to have her with us, Honorable Cathy Hughes, Minister of Tourism in Guyana, doing a magnificent job in repositioning Guyana and working with the community and at large the world. We'll be right back right here on WeeRadio. Just hang tight with us. WeeRadio, powered by MGN Funding, your direct mortgage banker and lender at 718-705-4443. If you're thinking about home ownership, hey, give us a call. Owner, operator, CEO, Mr. Marlon Sinarine, son of the soil, son of Guyana, but representing not only Guyana, but the entire community, regardless of where you're from, putting you into property. Here's the words from MGN Funding. Words from MGN Funding.
Are you looking for your key to home ownership? Then look no further. Call the #1 West Indian mortgage lender, MGN Funding. Call 718-705-4443. MGN Funding is a direct lender in New York and New Jersey. If you had past credit problems, bankruptcy, or less than perfect credit, MGN Funding can help you with your dream home. With their low fixed interest rates, MGN Funding can finance residential, commercial, mixed-use property, and construction projects. So whether you're buying your first home or investment property or refinancing, make the right choice for your family. Call MGN Funding today. Call 718-705-4443 or visit on the web at www.mgnfunding.com. MGN Funding is a licensed mortgage banker and lender in the states of New York, New Jersey, FHA, and VA approved. Applicants must qualify according to property guidelines. Conditions and restrictions may apply. Rates subject to change without notice. NMLS number 42791. Office located at 3050 Whitestone Expressway, Suite 305, Flushing, New York, 11354.
That's right. MGN Funding, your direct mortgage banker and lender. Give us a call, 718-705-4443, 718-705-4443. Our CEO from Parika, but representing all over Guyana, making us proud, and all our friends. Well, let's get back. We have online with us Her Excellency, Honorable Cathy Andrea Hughes, and she's the Minister of Tourism in Guyana, working hard and a hard-working lady, even on a Saturday, to take time for a busy schedule to talk to us. We are honored to have her on. Tourism Minister, we have you, Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for holding. So, yeah, just before the break, I was talking about, things, that special events, special holidays, and how plans are being made to improve, like festivals, for instance, March Ramani and Pagua and different events happening in Guyana to bring in additional tourism dollars.
Yes, Guyana is really an exciting place because our multicultural heritage makes it an interesting potpourri, I would say, a lovely mixture of all kinds of peoples and cultures. So traditionally, Christmas is always a beautiful time to be back in Guyana. I've had Christmas in the U.S., in Canada, in England, and also in Jamaica, and I really think that Guyana is one of the best places for Christmas, just because we have a season of celebration. And Guyanese are very hospitable people. They open their homes out to you, and so you meet a lot of people, you party, and you have fun. So Christmas is a special time. Of course, Mashramani is our local carnival, and that has grown immensely over the years. So Mashramani is celebrated in the month of February, and we have a lot of African carnival traditions associated with Mashramani. But the beauty of it is that we have costumes, we have a float parade, and all Guyanese of all heritage, all ethnicities participate and have fun with Mashramani. There are loads of parties that are associated with Mashramani, steel band competitions, choir festivals, the Calypso King and Queen competition, the soca competition. So it really is a great time. It's a musical and cultural extravaganza. The other big time, of course, in Guyana is Easter. We have a fabulous, unique rodeo which takes place in Lethem at Easter time. And so in Guyana at Easter, you leave the environs of Georgetown and you venture into the Rupununi area to beautiful locations like Anai and like Erequama, which is part of the Rainforest Reserve, which has a fabulous canopy walkway that stretches high above the rainforest, and that's always a very interesting but easy hike. It takes just about an hour and a half. and you literally hike up a hill, a mountain, and then you get to the top of a canopy, and you really have the tremendous opportunity to experience the birds, experience the rainforest from thousands of feet up, and to walk across part of the rainforest on a canopy walkway. We are blessed with some exciting festivals like Pagwa, which is our festival, one of our religious festivals, where we traditionally throw colored powders on each other and water. And we also have Diwali, which is the Festival of Lights. And again, that's another one of our religious holidays. At Easter, of course, we have our Christian religious celebrations in terms of Easter. The Christian community, that's an important time in their calendar, when we have our Good Friday reflections, which tends to be a little more somber. And then, of course, it bursts open on Easter Monday, where in Guyana, everybody still flies a kite. And so, as I did as a child, you wake up on Easter Monday, and there's the sound of the zinging and hissing of kites, and you go to the seawall or to the national park or to Jovera Park, cross the Demar Harbor Bridge, and the skies are just full of kites. And there are a flurry of competitions in terms of, who builds the largest kite, the handmade kites, imported kites. So Easter, either in Georgetown or in the Rupununi, where you can see a rodeo, where you can see vaqueros, our cowboys, the whole rodeo environment that runs over the Easter weekend is also a great time. We have also other festivals and competitions. The duck curry competition is a very, very interesting and very popular competition now, where we have people from other parts of the Caribbean. Guyana has won accolades in the duck curry competition in other parts of the region. And so our duck curry competition sees people from Trinidad coming to Guyana to determine who makes the best duck curry. And of course, there are all kinds of limes and parties associated with that. We have later down in the year Tourism Awareness Month, which falls in the month of November. And that's when we tend to pay tribute to some of our tourism products, some of the companies that are doing great things. All year round, we have trips to Kaichor, to Orange Duke, to any of these of our resorts. We have resorts in the Rupununi, like Anai, we have Rockview, we have Sarama, we have the lodges at Weewa, we have the lodges at Erequama. And, of course, on the Essequibo, we have beautiful Baganara. We have work that's being done we have Huracabra Lodge, and we have work that's being done in Bartica, in several other places. And I think what would make it easy is if I let you know that to find out any information on any of our products, if you go to visit Guyana-tourism.com, that's easy to remember, www.Guyana-tourism.com. That's where the Guyana Tourism Authority has their website, and there are loads of information there on planning your next vacation. And if you happen to be a bird watcher, as I said, we have over 800 species of birds, and we have a special dedicated website, and that's GuyanaBirding.com, www.GuyanaBirding.com, and that is where you can get all the information in terms of birding opportunities in Guyana. I think that in case anybody is thinking that, oh yes, this is the minister making it sound all grand, I want to remind people, and those that may not know, let them know that National Geographic Traveler in 2014 voted Guyana and our product best in the world. Wow. So that is approval from National Geographic, and everybody knows that National Geographic travels the length and breadth of this of the world and is great at finding the best locations. And so to get an award and a commitment from them that, we are a product of distinction was absolutely gratifying.
Wow, a beacon of light. That's great.
That's a mouthful of stuff, right?
Yes, I know. A beacon of light shining from Guyana on the world. And you make, Minister, I'm telling you, you make me want to get on a plane right now and just leave this radio program and put it on automation and just fly to Guyana.
And as you talk about getting on a flight...
yes, tell me about the amount of flights coming into Guyana. That's where I was leading, so you can tell me about, frequency of flights.
We're lucky that, of course, Caribbean Airlines services Guyana very well, and then we are very fortunate that we have quite a few other airlines that also service Guyana. So if you're coming from Miami or anywhere in Florida, of course there are connections on Caribbean Airlines, but we also have Suriname Airways that does direct flights to Miami also and to Orlando. So if you're coming from those areas, you've got Caribbean Airlines, you've got Suriname Airways. You also have Incel Airlines, which I flew just recently, and they're a great company. Incel actually has a hub in Curacao and Aruba, and they also fly to Curacao, Aruba, and to Miami. So that's another great airline that you can fly. I must compliment Fly Jamaica. I flew them just last week, direct, an easy flight, direct from Toronto to Guyana. They also fly from New York to Guyana, and I think on that flight they do a stop in Jamaica, but it's a very short stop. And again, I recommend, I've flown Fly Jamaica. It's a truly Caribbean Airlines. You know, we West Indian people like to make sure we have snacks and food on the airline and our own Caribbean stewardesses. So they offer that superior service. And, of course, their Travel Span and quite a few other charters do regular flights to Guyana. We have connections with British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, through Caribbean destinations such as Barbados and also Trinidad. And so I must mention Liat, which is great for connections from any of our European markets. I mentioned Suriname Airways because they're doing a great job of connecting travelers through Suriname, through Venezuela, and also through North America and New York and Florida. So there are quite a few airlines, and, we're looking and we're going to be courting even more airlines. The hope is that if we get a few more airlines, the price is going to come down, and so the traveler won't always have to depend on, a special to work their holidays around. We want to make sure that the cost of travel to Guyana gets a little more affordable. So we're also working on those areas.
I'm glad you touched on that.
I didn't mention, but the Tourism Association, the Tourism and Hospitality Association, they have a website called Explore Guyana. And it's called exploreguyana.org. So you can go to exploreguyana.org, and they also have a fabulous magazine that has a list of interesting articles and stories from people that have come to Guyana and experienced our product. So I think any of those websites makes it easy for a traveler to plan a trip. And, of course, as I said, we've got air travel from any of the destinations or any of the hubs in North America or Europe.
Minister, I'm glad you touched on that because that's where I was kind of alluding to in terms of pricing. We get complaints from a lot of people and wanting to go back home, or even tourists want to travel, and they're talking about pricing the ticket. So if that could be immediate something you can pay close attention to, increasing the amount of flights into Guyana and cutting down on the flights, the price, I think that will even help boost tourism and nationals coming back home and bringing friends back home. So that's something that ought to be, like you said, a lot of attention to on the price of the ticket.
Absolutely. And, I want people to know that Guyana really, sometimes we forget that we are in South America. So, it is a longer journey than if you were in New York popping to Jamaica or popping to the Bahamas. And therefore, the price, of course, is a function of that. But as I said, we're committed to getting the price down. The other thing that I usually like to remind people is that Guyana itself is a beautiful, vast country. I know we say this in jest, but it is true that we have hundreds of islands in our Essequibo River. And one of the islands is pretty close to the size of Barbados. So we're actually bigger than Great Britain and a little smaller than the whole of the United Kingdom. And as you know, we have unspoilt rainforests. I say that to explain that the length of time, once you get to Guyana, the time that you would fly to get from Guyana to Trinidad is the same length of time you would spend to get to Kaieteur, on a small plane, of course. Mm-hmm. And therefore, to really enjoy Guyana, you have to travel. But I want to say that it is well worth the money that you spend to come here. Kaieteur is a good hour and a half, flying over pristine rainforests, looking at beautiful waterfalls along the way. And then you get to magnificent Kaieteur. And I can say this because just the other day I had members of my family here for a reunion. And, you know, they looked at the cost of Kaieteur, which goes from anywhere from $149 to maybe $180-something. And they said to me, oh, gosh, Cathy, it's so expensive. You know, oh, gosh, I don't know if we can do it. But I said to them, make the trip. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And you know what was interesting? I was at work the day they all went. Mm-hmm. 14 of them took that trip to Kaieteur. And I knew when they landed at Ogle on the return home to Georgetown because my phone just started to buzz with text messages. Mm-hmm. And everybody said, you know, it was worth every single U.S. dollar that they had spent. That there was no comparison to you can't compare Kaieteur to Niagara Falls.
Right.
It's just such a special opportunity to see nature at its best. Mm-hmm. And therefore, it's something that each and every one of us must work towards to experiencing, you know. And so for me, it was wonderful to have my own family do the trips, do all the fun things to do in Guyana, and to be able to come back and say wonderful. And even if you don't do Kaieteur on this trip, come, because you can jump in a minibus or jump with your family and friends and drive to Berbice, across the Berbice Bridge, which is a new thing that many people have not experienced. Go and play cricket on 63 Beach. Go to some of our lakes. Or go jump in a speedboat and go to Bartica. Go to anywhere on the Essequibo. Go on the Essequibo coast. This is a truly beautiful country. And so there are parts that you can go to by just going in a minibus with your friends or going in a vehicle and driving. And then, of course, there's some areas where I urge you to get into a boat. We've put a lot of safety regulations and monitoring into our speedboats. So all the speedboats have life jackets, and it's closely monitored. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like sitting in a speedboat and going up the Essequibo River. It is one of the most fabulous rivers that I've experienced, and I've traveled a lot. So I urge everybody to come home and enjoy. And, of course, I'd love to tell you about our 50th anniversary celebrations next year.
All right. Whoa. So lots happening for Guyana if you just tuned in to WeeRadio. I'm the SpiceMan, Bob Frederick, and we have with us, and we are very honored to have her, the Honorable Miss Cathy Hughes, who's talking about tourism. She is the tourism minister for Guyana. And, you know, Miss Hughes, Dr. Shamir Ali, who sent me this email, he says, retreat, renew, reconnect, relax, refuel, rewind, refresh. Green, exotic, fun Guyana. Hey, Dr. Shamir, thank you so much.
and you know, thank you, Dr. Shamir. I think he has just come up with the slogan, huh?
Yes, well, maybe, you see? So
Some
you got
of
your
those
slogan.
words would be the perfect slogan for
Right.
our 50th anniversary celebrations.
Yeah, amen. So tell us about your 50th. And Dr. Shamir, thank you. So you see, you got the slogan for marketing Guyana going forward. And also, let's talk about the 50th anniversary coming up.
Yeah, well, we're all excited. In fact, a week ago, I was actually meeting with potential investors and also travel agents in Toronto, because last week was Caravana. And so last Monday, we had a booth, and we, meaning the Ministry of Tourism, had a booth at Last Lap Line, which is the largest gathering of Guyanese in the Canadian diaspora. And we had a great opportunity to speak with them. Next year, we celebrate 50 years as an independent country, and that is definitely a milestone that we're going to celebrate. So we're going to have a series of celebrations all through the year, starting with, of course, Independence, which is in May. We're going to have a special Mashramani. We have events throughout the year. We are going to be promoting our culture. we're going to be having a great, huge celebration across the country at the stadium again. And I know many people were totally excited with our inauguration and the opportunity it gave us to revive some of those folk songs that we hadn't heard for a long time. And so there's all kinds of cuisine competitions. There's going to be special events. And so we are hoping that by the end of September, we're going to be able to start to pin down some of those specific events. But I want to say to everybody that may be listening that all through the year, there is going to be a range of celebrations in the area of arts, in the area of culture, in the area of our food, our sports, our cricket, and so I say our motor racing. I say to you, next year, if you haven't been able to come home before, next year is definitely a time that you want to make a special attempt. Now, a lot of the travel agencies and the ministries and the companies here in Guyana are going to be working to create packages, so it will make it even more affordable for Guyanese and our friends in, wherever you may be, to come and enjoy our country. So we're going to be doing packages to a couple of our locations, packages to our Rupununi, safaris, those kinds of events. And I just want to say it really is going to be great.
It sounds great to me, and we're looking forward to working with you on that project. I'm looking forward to be broadcasting live from Guyana too. So hopefully we can put all this together. Honorable Minister of Tourism, we coming back and wrap up. A word from our sponsor, MGN Funding. Final thoughts, final words. But this is not the final time you'll be on this show. You have open invitation to be here in the future. All right? In the not-too-distant future. So we'll be right back in just a moment. Keep it right here on WeeRadio. WeeRadio, your direct mortgage banker and lender, 718-705-4443. When you work with MGN Funding and WeeRadio, we're giving back to the community and telling our story in our very own way. We'll be right back to tell you much more of the good things in our community. Sponsored by MGN Funding.
MGN Funding, your direct mortgage banker and lender in the states of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. MGN Funding. If you're serious about home ownership, now is the time to call MGN Funding. 718-705-4443. 718-705-4443. MGN Funding, here for 16 years, serving our community, putting members of the family into property, saving you lots and lots of money. Refinancing, purchasing, MGN Funding, 718-705-4443. Call us.
If you would like to advertise your business or service, call 718-705-4454. That's 718-705-4454.
Make it happen right now on WeeRadio, coming to you all day Saturday, covering New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and the world here in New York City. You can get us online, WeeRadioOnline.com. You can get us on 620 on your dial, covering the metropolitan area. You also can get us on your cell phone. You just dial 213-493-0277. That's 213-493-0277. You dial that number right now on your phone, and you can hear us live. So you can be walking right now with us on your cell phone. So we portable, programmable, and very much lovable. It's the lovable WeeRadio, for the people, by the people. Let's get back to wrapping up with Honorable Minister Cathy Hughes of Guyana. Ms. Hughes, thank you for holding on with us. Yes. So as we come into a wrap up of this afternoon's interview, talking about Guyana and things to do, I want you again to give information how to get in contact with your office. And do we have a tourism office here in New York, or you work through the consulate?
We work through the consulate, and we're actually going to be making sure that we put a little more information in the consular offices. And also we are in the process of highlighting and identifying individuals within the consulate that will be able to handle the investment and tourism issues. So I think we're going to be gearing up so that the consulate is going to be the hub. And in terms of contacting us, I know I gave you some some websites. But, any kind of queries could be channeled through the consulate, or if you want to contact the Ministry of Tourism directly, I gave you the website for the GTA, which is our marketing arm, Guyana-tourism.com. And you can send the folks there an email, any questions, and we would be more than happy to deal with some of the questions, help you organize your trip, whatever it is. The other thing, I find that, of course, the internet and social media is very, very important, and those are the best way of contacting us. Do a search for Guyana Tourism Authority or the Ministry of Tourism Guyana. The ministry actually has a new office in the beautiful Cold Grain House, which is in the center of town in Camp Street, just next to Georgetown Club. And, of course, a lot of people from years gone by may remember Cold Grain House as being right next door to Cold Grain Pool, which is one of our public pools in the city. So I think there are loads of ways that you can find us. The best and the fastest way, of course, being via the internet.
All right. So, Minister, just before we go, I repeat, retreat, renew, reconnect, relax, refuel, rewind, refresh. All happening in green, exotic, fun Guyana. That's Dr. Shamir.
Yes.
It sounds good.
Definitely.
It sounds good. And, something I wanted to touch on, but I guess at another time, but if you feel free, just before we go, remind me, it's not really probably under your portfolio, but go invest. Opportunities for nationals and for the international market to invest into Guyana. You could be at liberty to touch on information on that?
Yes, certainly. It would be my pleasure to comment on that. We actually, as I mentioned just now, we are going to be ensuring that in our consular offices, we have someone that has this specific portfolio of investment and tourism. So investment promotion is a very, very important aspect of the new Ministry of Business. And the new minister there is Dominic Gaskin, who has successfully run his own jewelry business, and I think brings a lot of experience and will run the Ministry of Business like a business. And so I know that I would actually like to suggest that maybe you could invite him on the program, because they're actually looking at Go Invest right now. They're going to be naming a new head of that agency. It's a very important agency. And, of course, Go Invest, for those that don't know, is the agency that handles and can give you information on all the concessions and all the investment opportunities that are available in Guyana. So I would love to recommend that you invite Minister Gaskin, because I know there are even more specific areas and things that he can highlight. I know in the area of tourism, we have a very attractive investment portfolio where Guyanese in the diaspora or foreign investors are welcomed and can come and invest in tourism products. This, as you will know, ecotourism and nature-based tourism is the fastest growing subsector of the worldwide billion-dollar tourism industry. And therefore, for an investor, putting things in place like a zip line somewhere through our forests, we have accommodation in Georgetown, but resorts in the Rupununi, in some of our beautiful areas that may not have, too many resorts. This is a good opportunity because the industry is still developing, and therefore it's a good time to come in and to be successful in your investment.
Honorable Tourism Minister, we appreciate it so much. I appreciate you giving me the time. I learned so much, and I hope our listenership, all around the world listening to us. And that's why, with a background in the mass communication, I thought that you will appreciate it because it's a preview of our next guest, or hopefully in the not-too-distant future, we could be talking about Go Invest and investment opportunities in Guyana. And we thank you.
Absolutely.
You are a great communicator. I appreciate you and the interview. We appreciate that. And I know friends, Guyana nationals and friends, appreciate you letting us know what's going on and what's planned for Guyana. And we're looking forward for bigger and better things in Guyana, and especially coming up on the 50th anniversary next year. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. And I say to all the Guyanese in the diaspora, anyone that's been listening, it was really my pleasure to be able to connect with you. And I want to see you down in Georgetown. I want to see you maybe at Kaicho or anywhere at any of our many exotic locations. So remember your home. Remember your home.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed day and continue the good work.
And thank you very much.
And again, to Dr. Ali, Dr. Shamir, goodbye, Dr. Shamir Ali, and Mr. Gaston on August 22nd will be here. We'll be talking to him, all right, Mr. Gaston, and also we'll have much more ministers. What's happening not only in Guyana, throughout the region. So keep it right here, locked into WeeRadio, powered by MGN Funding, your direct mortgage banker and lender. 718-705-4443, 718-705-4443, MGN Funding, making a difference in our community for 16, now 17 years, and doing good in our neighborhood. And again, Minister Cathy Hughes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless.